and they'll have to be good here behind Ben Hudson in this second game as we are ready to go with the first pitch of the second game, and it's in there for a strike to Braden Terry. So Penn State and Washington. Washington now 11-14 in sole possession of ninth place in the Big Ten. Penn State 6-19, not mathematically eliminated from Big Ten tournament play just yet, but they would need to win out and need a lot of help the rest of the way. And Ben Hudson misses inside to Braden Terry, and the count goes to 1-1.
But you've seen it before with Penn State. Mike Gambino's been close to the cut line before and has had some incredible moments. Think back to that sweep in 2024 of Maryland to get into the Big Ten tournament. That is something that Mike Gambino's done before, and it's not out of the realm of possibility. But it's going to need a lot of help from some outside forces and some other Big Ten teams to take care of business over the weekend.
Yeah, with Washington's win in the first game, it was the first Friday win for the Huskies since April 10th as they won the first game in a doubleheader against Minnesota. 2-1 on Braden Terry. It's Terry, Hotchkiss, and DiCarlo for the Huskies. Here in the top of the first, rolls one foul. Terry 1 for 5 with a run scored. His lone hit was a triple in that first game. And I mentioned the 6 extra base hits for Washington. And this is a ballpark that does play usually favorable to pitchers, but there's a lot of room out there if you can find the open green grass.
Yeah, and they were on Colin Fitzgerald from the get-go in game one. A lot of hard hit outs and a lot of extra base hits they showcased. Terry's was a really well-hit ball, and it honestly just seemed that with the weather and the factor, playing out there in the outfield was certainly tough for the outfielders, led to some more extra base knocks.
Hudson comes down and in. Full count here on the Washington leadoff man. Terry with a leadoff triple in game one, scored on a sacrifice fly from Jackson Hotchkiss. Payoff pitch, down and in, he's aboard. And man, Washington, when they can get leadoff men on base, they love to run the bases, Luke.
Yeah, and it's placed to their strengths. Again, they're not exactly the biggest home run team, though a couple guys definitely have the power to do it, including Hotchkiss at the dish. But they love to get guys in motion, do what they can on the base paths to create opportunities and hitting lanes for the batter to find some green into the outfield, and that's why they've been proficient at scoring runs.
Got to look at Ben Hudson there, Penn State starting pitcher. 1-9 with a 7.55 ERA, 44 strikeouts and 19 walks over 56 innings. His first full season as a starting pitcher after transferring in from West Virginia, where he was primarily used in relief last year, son of a former big leaguer, and his last few outings have been really good for the Nittany Lions. But he has to work around a leadoff walk and now face the always dangerous Jackson Hotchkiss here with nobody out in the top of the first. And 1-0 is down and away. 2 balls and no strikes. Hotchkiss 1 for 4 with a run scored and an RBI in game number 1.
And for Hudson, his last 3 outings, Penn State has held the opposing team to 5 or less runs and yet taken the loss in all those games. They've done what many would consider to be an admirable job, the pitching staff, of holding the opponents, but the offense hasn't been able to click totally with the batters.
2-0 is ripped through the hole on the left side. Back-to-back base runners to start this first for Washington, and Jackson Hotchkiss delivers a single to left.
A nice piece of hitting there from Hotchkiss. I thought that they held him in check in the first game, which wouldn't surprise me if he's able to get extended a little bit more in this game too as the day rolls on. Again, a lot of arms going to be used between the both of these squads. Penn State had to dive into the bullpen with Emmons, Duhamel, and Robert Brown seeing some time. Washington a little bit more conservative, only using 3 arms. But as we go on, probably some more mistakes coming out of the arms from the pen and from the guys on the mound.
Now DiCarlo, who's hitting at .305, 32 runs scored, 29 runs batted in, and 6 home runs. First 2 on for the Huskies. Sun back out. That is good to see for those of you who are with us on game number 1 here on Big Ten Plus, playing in and out of some heavy rain showers. Looked like for a moment they might bring the tarp onto the field. And right now, 52 degrees at our first pitch. There is a forecast of potential impending rain later on this evening. And these two teams slated to play a doubleheader today, and then the final game of this series is still up in the air because of that forecast, whether they'll play tomorrow at 2 o'clock or then on Sunday at 11 a.m. 2 on for Washington. DiCarlo with the drive to pretty deep right. Back goes Jakonski, turns. It's off the high fence. The runner's delayed to see if that ball was going to be caught, so Terry only advances to third, and DiCarlo with a long, loud single. And Washington goes station to station.
That's just an example of a ballpark playing a factor in a game. And with the right field wall and Medler, it's oftentimes hard to tell whether a ball is going to clang off it or fall into the glove. We've seen a couple of fly balls die just short of the wall today. So a wise decision from DiCarlo, from Terry and Hotchkiss to hold back. Unfortunate for DiCarlo, who, granted, probably deserved a little bit more than just a single to his ledger.
Yeah, 358-foot single for Sam DiCarlo, and now they're loaded for the cleanup man, Colton Bauer. And Ben Hudson's not doing himself any favors here, falling behind these Washington hitters.
Yeah, well, it starts with the leadoff walk, a good at-bat from Terry, and that just builds the confidence for the guys behind you. And when you have Bauer, who had the 2 doubles early on in the game, still bouncing back from that injury he suffered, hadn't played since early April, but he looked very good in those first 2 at-bats and was picking up Fitzgerald well. They had the scouting report on Fitzgerald. Let's see if the scouting report for Hudson is up to par.
Count goes to 1-1. Bauer had those great numbers you were talking about, Luke, prior to the injury. And a high fly out to left. Davis back, he'll have a play. Terry's going to tag and score from third. What a start for Washington. And the Huskies have a 1-0 lead on the sac fly from Colton Bauer. Hotchkiss tags and advances to third. So on the corners, 1 out, and just a dream start here for the Huskies.
Yeah, it was the same start as last game in game 1, but I think they're looking for more at this point. Obviously, last game became a bit of a barn burner in the later stages. I think if you can tag for a couple more runs here in this lineup, you're going to put yourself in a better spot come later stages of this game. You didn't have to expend a couple more arms like Penn State did. And you got that win in game 1, which can give you a little bit of leeway going on to the end of this season.
Now, Paul, a .252 hitter. $25 runs scored, 3 home runs, and 20 runs batted in. Shifts on to the right side for Penn State, and Hudson starts him with that breaking ball strike. Paul 0 for 4, a couple of strikeouts and a walk in the first game today. See his numbers on the season there. One out on the corners. 0-1 fastballs over the outside corner, and Hudson works ahead, no balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah, this is a good start to this at-bat from Hudson. Exactly what you want to do after you've been batted around a little bit in the early stages. Find the zone, attack the hitters, throw your best stuff. His fastball is great. When he's able to use the fastball with the off-speed, that's where he finds success. He can do it right here.
0-2 from Hudson. Just missed downstairs. And we saw that from Colin Fitzgerald, Penn State's Game 1 starter. Worked into and out of trouble early and was able to keep the score 1-0 until Penn State got the 2-run go-ahead home run from Preston Yocker that you talked about, Luke, in the open.
Yeah, well, things aren't going to always be perfect as you want it on the mound. You have to kind of learn to battle through adversity. Fitzgerald and Hudson have had to do that a lot this season, so they're very used to it.
Runner DiCarlo off from first as it sailed foul down the left field line.
Again, the goal is to not put yourself in those spots, but when you've been at points like Fitzgerald and Hudson have had with some defense being a bit sloppy around you, you've had to learn to work through the uncomfortable spots, and there's been no shortage of uncomfortable spots for those two this season.
Penn State has struggled this year at 13-32 after making the Big Ten Tournament Championship and Big Ten semifinals in Mike Gambino's first 3 seasons now. A year that I think they look back on had a lot of high expectations coming in, but injury certainly a big factor for Penn State. And Washington, as Paul swings through the 1-2, it's a big strikeout for Hudson. And now he has light at the end of the tunnel here in the first. The first 3 reached, 1 scored on the sac fly from Bauer, but got Paul to swing through the fastball.
And there you go right there. He set up the fastball, kept him off bay, and then got him with the fastball when he wanted it. That's just what you got to do. That is great pitching from Hudson there. And in this spot, you needed the K there, needed to keep the ball out of play to prevent Hotchkiss from scoring.
Now Blake Wilson, who was 0 for 3 in the first game today, batting at .268 with a couple of home runs and 18 runs batted in. DiCarlo at first, Hotchkiss at third. Hudson checks on the runner at first. Yeah, the first 3 reached here. Terry walked, came around to score on the sac fly from Bauer. Washington loaded the bases up, had that long single from DiCarlo off the fence and right. But so far, just 1 across here against Ben Hudson. 2 outs and they're on the corners. First pitch to Wilson. And Hudson starting to deal now as he gets the swing and the miss.
Yeah, the top of the orders had the scouting report on both these starters, and they executed in their first at-bats against Hudson and Fitzgerald. But the middle and lower part of the order didn't have success against Fitzgerald, and seemingly right now, Hudson's really settled in on the bump and has looked a lot better against 6, 7, 8 in the order.
0-1 popped up. Foul territory, first base side. DiMucci, the catcher near the Penn State dugout, gives way to Karstetter. And Karstetter, the first baseman, back behind DiMucci's shoulders. For Washington, and head coach Eddie Smith has been solid all year long. DeCarlo's an excellent shortstop. Swidler had the big home run in game number 1. He's back behind the plate again in game number 2. Off we go here in the bottom of the first. Noah Kenny on the mound. Jayden Davis at the plate. There are the numbers on Kenny this year. And Luke, he has gotten his team deep into games. He's been exceptional the last few outings.
6 innings in the last 6 starts he's had. That's the length you want out of a starter.
Line drive to center from Jayden Davis. Cut off by Paul, then bobbled it in front of the warning track, and that allows Davis to cruise into second with a leadoff double for Penn State. So Washington won in the top of the first, and Penn State's offense with a rude greeting for Noah Kenny here in Happy Valley in game 2.
Well, Kenny's length is a good thing, but the first pitch there, not the best from Noah Kenny. Nice piece of hitting from Jayden Davis to go back up the middle. Got a little bit of a benefit as Paul was playing shaded towards right center, so it dropped in enough to get him into the gap and get himself extra bases to begin it for Penn State.
Yeah, you were talking about Kenny, the junior, 6'2", 210 pounds out of Parker, Colorado. And here is Michael Anderson. 19 home runs, tied for the most in a single season in Penn State program history and pacing the Big Ten. Pitch from Kenny is down low. Now, we'll talk more about Kenny in a moment, but there could be history on the line right here with the slugging DH for Penn State.
Yeah, Washington worked around him as best they could, tried to keep it inside on him so he couldn't get extended in the first game. You do miss over the plate, odds are it could be over the wall.
And the 1-0, a towering fly ball, not deep out to right. Braden Terry underneath it. Jayden Davis is back to tag. He bluffs the start. Throw in is cut off, and Davis scurries back to second. But they did. They had a really good approach to the Huskies. Not only the starter, but the bullpen in game number 1 against Michael Anderson, trying to get the ball, as he did there, in on his hands.
Yeah, and if you keep it on his hands, you kind of force him to either try and fight it off into right field to go the other way, or get under it like he did there into right field. Obviously, he wants to elevate. That's Michael Anderson's game. He's been a slug guy throughout his career. Right there, tried to elevate, just couldn't get enough of it level. Couldn't drive it the way he likes.
Speaking of elevating, Bryce Molinaro had a 2-run home run in the 8th in game 1 today. 38 career now home runs for Molinaro at Penn State, second most in the program's all-time history. There's Jayden Davis out on second after the leadoff double here in the bottom of the first. No balls and 1 strike on Molinaro. He'll foul it away to the right side. Molinaro hitting at .262. 6 doubles, 2 triples, 14 home runs, and 39 runs batted in.
Just feels like for Molinaro, he loves the bigger moments down the stretch of the season. Think back to some of his most famous homers in a Penn State uniform. They've come late in the season. Back to the Big Ten's quarterfinal back in 2024, the Grand Slam against Michigan, other homers like that. That's where he seems to thrive and be in the best spot to put up those big moments.
Yeah, that 2-run home run in the bottom of the 8th gave his team a chance going into the 9th inning. They got a 1-2-3 top of the 9th from Robert Brown, and Penn State had a double from Jesse Jakonski with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th. Set up Jack Porter pinch hitting, coming off the bench, and he flied out to the warning track and left. Washington hung on for the 5-4 win over the Nittany Lions. And a big win that is for Washington. I know we're going to get into the Big Ten standings tonight. Pitch upstairs to Molinaro. Washington now 11-14 in the Big Ten, in sole possession of 9th place in the league standings. And that puts them a game and a half up on Rutgers, the 12th place team in the league, but creates some separation from that crowd of teams, Michigan State, Indiana, Northwestern, that are trying to inch their way back into the Big Ten tournament field. The top 12 teams make the conference tournament in Omaha, which is going to begin in less than 2 weeks from today. But the big thing that I know you talked about, Washington still has UCLA, which hasn't lost a conference game yet this year on the schedule in the final weekend of conference action. Count goes full here on Molinaro.
You never want to write yourself off. It's always tough against one of the most talented teams in the country that has a boatload of top 150 draft prospects, including the projected #1 guy in Rock Chalowski. So you don't want to write yourself off, but getting a few extra wins here in a series against Penn State, that's not going to hurt you come the long run.
Well, I'm excited tonight. UCLA and Oregon, a top 15 matchup. Neither team has lost a Friday game all year long. See if Penn State can answer here in the bottom of the first. Molinaro down on strikes, and Kenny with that high cheese blew it past the Penn State 3-hole hitter.
Yeah, tough for Molinaro sometimes, especially on that one. Kenny working some nice off speed, goes with the up and in. And for a power hitter like Molinaro, you really, really want to pitch like that, but sometimes it's just kind of like fool's gold. It's not exactly what you would need when you're down on strikes.
Penn State could use a little more from 4 and 5 in their lineup here in this game. Spencer Barnett and Kevin Karstetter, who have swapped spots between the 4th and 5 hole here over the last couple of weeks. But they were a combined 0 for 8 with a couple of strikeouts in the first game. Karstetter's the cleanup man here in game 2 again. And he works ahead, 1 ball and no strikes.
Yeah, Barnett almost had the biggest swing of game 1, though. Drove one out to the opposite way and nearly left the yard. Again, the wind was not much of a help for Penn State in that first game with Porter, Barnett, and a couple other guys. Deep warning track flyouts.
Count goes to 1-1. Kenny is just 1 out away from working around a leadoff double from Jayden Davis to center field here against the heart of this Penn State lineup. Suspect that Porter will be available to pinch hit off the bench again for Penn State here in this second game. And Karstetter fouls the 1-1 back.
That's the thing with Jack Porter, too. Missed last Big Ten tournament last year because of an injury. It's good for Mike Gambino to have him back in this spot because Mike Gambino didn't have him to go on down the stretch to make the Big Ten tournament last year. So having him in this spot, trying to keep your season hopes alive. You would like him to be available for everyday play, but having him in a pinch hit spot should you need him is good enough.
1-2. And Kenny misses up and away. Well, Penn State, right off the jump this year, lost Nate Voss, a catcher who they're probably expecting 12 to 15 home runs from, maybe a 250, 260 batting average out for the season. Cole Mercado has battled a nagging injury all year long. There's a chance they could use him off the bench today. But consistent injuries have plagued the Penn State offense. Karstetter stays alive.
And back to the early season, too, where they had a consistent bout of illness throughout a ton of their players, so guys would miss games left and right. I can recall some of the early starts. Ben Hudson, Colin Fitzgerald were scratched due to either injury or illness right before they went. So Mike Gambino and co have had to work around that all season. And naturally, it's not always going to be the cleanest of seasons when you have things like that.
No sympathy, though, for Noah Kenny, who... And no, Karstetter fouls it away. It looked like he was almost able to get him to reach and strike out to end the inning, but he just got a piece of the ball as it was diving down away from the right-handed hitter.
Yeah, the nature of baseball is never going to be kind to you if you've had the injuries and things like that.
Not in this deep conference. Let's take another look.
Just may have gotten a piece there. Probably not wise to use a challenge on that early on in this ball game.
2 outs and a man on second. Still 2-2 on Karstetter. And he fouls it away. He stays alive.
Working a good at-bat here. Maybe the swing on the last pitch, not the best, but he managed to fight it off. And that's all that you really have to take away from this at-bat is that he stayed alive and kept in this count. You want to drive Kenny's pitch count up, and you want to get Davis home to tie this one up.
Karstetter playing for his hometown Nittany Lions. Finished his high school career at IMG Academy. A long route to get back here to Penn State. And he's had a fine second half for Penn State. He's one of the guys who have taken advantage of the opportunity because of the injury. And the 2-2 is rolled up the middle. It's a single into center field. Jayden Davis rounds third, and Kevin Karstetter with a 2-out single to center ties the game at 1.
It wasn't the prettiest of swings from Kevin Karstetter. We just said about one of the foul balls he had, but he just did enough to push it back up the middle. And in a game like this where that ball's going to roll across the infield dirt and grass after the rain, got a little bit lucky, but just enough to tie this game up.
He continued to fight off some pitches, and again, Kenny was working down and away, and eventually Karstetter, it looked like Luke was able to just throw the bat head out there and find some open space going back through the middle.
Take what you can get.
That's what you want to do as a hitter, too. When you have an opportunity to foul a couple of pitches off, get one you can handle, maybe not square it up completely. And Karstetter, a delayed steal, and the throw to second, not in time. He is in there. Looked like Barnett offered at that first pitch. It is a first pitch strike to Barnett, and now Karstetter swipes second. He's into scoring position. And Penn State now has the potential go-ahead run on second here in the first.
That was one of Karstetter's calling cards when he was at the University of Tampa in 2025. 19-21 on the base paths. Is that throw close? We won't get official review on it, but he swipes the bag. Penn State hasn't been the best base stealing team in the Big Ten, unlike last year where they were excellent. Mike Gambino spoke about it in the early season that when you're trailing by a lot of runs, you can't exactly be as aggressive as you want to on the base paths, and that's happened at points throughout the season for Penn State. So not the season on the base paths they'd want, but still a chance here in a 1-1 game to be aggressive, and Karstetter did just that.
Saw Stephen Linton, the second base umpire, the demonstrative safe call out there at second. Now Barnett could give Penn State the lead.
Everybody clap your hands.
Not exactly how Kenny envisioned this first inning after his team put up one in the top of the first.
Especially when you made some pitches against Karstetter. You got him to offer at some non-strikes, and he just fought them off and then fought off another pitch outside the zone. It's a tough one to swallow.
Hitters count, though, now to Barnett as he takes the high fastball. Some pretty good at-bats in what's becoming an expensive first inning here against Noah Kenny.
22 pitches already. I like the at-bats that Penn State's working. They're forcing him to come at them, and that's where you find success, when you force the pitcher to come at you.
Barnett with a high fly to center. Nick Paul's got a beat on it underneath it, and we're tied at 1 after 1. So Kevin Karstetter with a 2-out RBI single to center field.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Player who the numbers might not tell the entire story for him offensively this year. 5 in a row, though, retired here by Noah Kenny as he goes back to the top of the Penn State lineup and misses down low to Jayden Davis.
Yeah, he, much like Hudson, has really settled in to this ball game, and it isn't a surprise to see either of them really finding their groove out on the mound. They've been in the big spots before. Both have made a lot of starts this season. They're used to this at this point.
Misses low with a curveball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. The always dangerous Michael Anderson, the Big Ten leader in home runs with 19, is on deck. 1 out, they're empty. And it's now 3-0 here on Davis as he fails to command the breaking ball.
I feel like this is a pitch where you got to find the zone. You do not want to put anyone on for Anderson. This is a spot where you just really can't afford to miss here to Davis. Got to challenge him.
Big guy doesn't even get cheated in his warm-up swings, and he does miss down low. It's a 4-pitch walk to Davis, and that brings up Anderson.
Going from 48 and 51 in his 2 seasons at Rhode Island to lowering it down to the same amount of times he walks this season at Penn State. That's been a big key, and it's a reason why Penn State's had success offensively off his back.
Yeah, you don't usually see that with players who slug at the clip that Anderson does. Usually they have a higher propensity to strike out, really doesn't get cheated. Barely struck out from mid-March to mid-April. Those numbers have ticked up a bit here over the last few weeks.
Well, that's certainly due to teams trying to find their way to pitch around him, and teams have had success pitching around him, but other teams haven't. It is just a delicate balancing game of, do you want to attack Anderson or, be a little bit loose on the rest of the lineup, or go loose on Anderson and attack the rest of the lineup? That's the question you got to ask yourself when you get to the ballpark every day if you're an opposing manager.
5 straight out of the strike zone, make it 6 as he missed down low again. It's 2-0 on Anderson. Dangerous spot here. The wind's starting to pick up, blowing out a little bit, and a hitter's count, and you can't find the strike zone, and Michael Anderson at the plate.
I think everybody in the ballpark's tuned into this at-bat, at least throughout the rest of the game. They'll be tuned into every at-bat because they know history is on the line.
And he rips a single through the left side. Davis a wide turn at second, but he's going to throw on the brakes as Hotchkiss is on it quickly. Anderson with the hit, back-to-back base runners with 1 out, and Penn State threatens for the lead here in the last of the third.
It's a good swing, 108 off the bat. Didn't elevate, but did enough and kept the bat level to line one into left field. He's done that all season long. It isn't just the homers, it's the ability to hit for contact, the ability to collect base hits, work walks. He's done it all season long. There's not a lot much else to say about Michael Anderson.
Now Bryce Molinaro. Penn State has not led here in game 2. 2 on and 1 out. Once again, Kenny falls behind.
He hasn't had his command this inning, and this is a good decision by Swidler to go out and talk to him.
certainly has a flair for the dramatic. 38 career home runs, second all-time in Penn State program history, as you just saw. 2 on and 1 out. Kenny needs to relocate that strike zone for Washington. Comes back and misses inside with his fastball. It probably won't be long here until the Washington dugout, Connor Lambert and Eddie Smith, need to have the conversation about getting some action down there in the Husky bullpen. Davis at second, Anderson at first, and the 2-0. There's a strike.
And Davis and Anderson now playing some games with Kenny on the base paths. A break and looked like a delayed steal, but they both held back. A lot more than a secondary lead, maybe trying to toy with Kenny on the mound back in his peripherals.
Davis has good speed out there at second. Now it's 2-2. Well located 90-mile-per-hour fastball at the knees, and it goes Kenny's way.
That's where he wants to live, especially to Molinaro. You can't really put one in the middle part of the zone. Try and keep it down so Molinaro is unable to elevate and do what he wants with the pitch.
Here's the 2-2. Bounced in, got away from Swidler, and Penn State with now Davis at third and Anderson at second. 2 in scoring position for Bryce Molinaro.
If there was a guy you'd want in the spot with 2 men in scoring position on a full count, you'd take Molinaro. With the base open, though, I'll be interested to see if Kenny will challenge him.
No chance here for Swidler to stop that one. You know, you expect the ball in the dirt sometimes, but not one that's a 52-footer.
Yeah, that's tough, especially for a catcher like Swidler there. Kenny had seemed to find his spot and then just bounced one. It's a tough one to handle.
Maybe overthrew a little bit to try to get the dangerous Molinaro, who lines it back up the middle for a hit. Davis scores. Anderson got a tough read. He went back to second. Throw home to the plate from Paul, cut off, and he scores regardless. A 2-run single for Molinaro and a 3-1 Penn State lead.
And Molinaro's done that a lot this season, just going back up the middle on a pitch like that. Got it, put a nice swing on it, and just took it right back where it came from. It's textbook hitting. It's preached to every youth baseball player across the country. Molinaro, a prime example of it. Not trying to do too much in the big spot.
Yeah, ball over the outer third, and you talked about it, Luke. What are you looking for there as a hitter when the ball's over the outer third?
You're just trying to send it right back up the middle. That's exactly what you want to do with it. And again, perfect swing for Bryce Molinaro.
So Penn State with the lead for the first time in this second game. At a 2-1 lead in the first game today. Washington rallied and tied it in the 7th. Got the big home run from Swidler in the 8th. Top of the Penn State lineup, Davis and Anderson both reach. Molinaro plates them with the 2 RBIs. Up high here to Kevin Carstetter. And the command really eluding Noah Kenny here in this third.
And this is atypical, and it wouldn't be good if he continues to struggle. You really got to make some considerations. Though Washington didn't have to go too deep into the bullpen, they do have arms available. And also the fact we don't know when Game 3 is going to be. It could be tomorrow, it could be Sunday. You might have arms available, you might not. It's a guessing game at this point.
Carstetter late on the fastball as a couple of Huskies do jog down to the left field bullpen. 51 pitches for Kenny. Able to come back and even this count at 1-1. Another hitter's count, though, as he missed down and away.
And the last time Kenny went less than 5 innings was all the way back in March 13th against Ohio State, went 4 2/3. He was tagged for 5 runs and then came out of the ball game at 89 pitches.
2-1 to Carstetter is ripped to center field. Paul on the run, reaches up, made the catch. Mick Paul with a great running grab out in center for the second out of the inning.
That's just a fantastic play. A very similar spot and a very similar hit to Jayden Davis's double back in the first inning where Carstetter just sent it on a hard line, but Paul this time got a good enough jump and a good enough read to make the over-the-shoulder catch there for out number 2, and that's just redeeming his mistake from the first inning and being ready for the same situation to happen again.
Well, he looks like a cool, calm West Coast customer right there, doesn't he?
The glasses, everything. That is exactly what I imagine when you said a West Coast baseball player, if I envisioned it in my mind.
Spencer Barnett not cheated on that first swing. 2 outs here in the inning. Bryce Molinaro with a 2-run single to center field. Becomes the second Nittany Lion to reach 40 or more RBIs on the year. Now has 41, joining Michael Anderson, surpassing the 40 RBI mark. And Kenny now ahead of Barnett. No balls and 2 strikes. Barnett flied out to center his first time up. Washington employs the shift to the right side. And the 0-2 is on the outside corner for a called strike 3. That ends the inning. Barnett down looking.
Kayla Trainer and Jeff Tambroni, I'd wager that 1-2 punch is one of the best duos in terms of collegiate lacrosse across the country. They've done an excellent job.
Well, wherever you go in the Big Ten, you know you have a great community of head coaches, and that's certainly the case at Penn State. Trainer, her first year, had a great career at Syracuse, came to Happy Valley, and Jeff Tambroni's taken his team to the Frozen Four. You know what I do in the winter. To the Final Four a couple of times in the last few years.
It's okay to flaunt that you've been to the Frozen Four. How many times now, Brian?
Well, the Big Ten had 2 teams in the Frozen Four this year, Michigan and Wisconsin.
How many national champions? Tough subject.
Blake Wilson is at the plate here for Washington to lead it off here in the 4th. Wilson, Cowan, and Taggart against Ben Hudson. Hudson allowed the first 3 to reach and a run to score, but has retired 9 of the last 11. And this is down the way. The count goes to 2-2. Well, Wisconsin's women's team won the Women's Frozen Four. They defeated Ohio State. There were 3 Big Ten teams. It was actually played right here at Penn State. And Penn State was the other team in the Women's Frozen Four this year.
And across a lot of collegiate sports, the Big Ten's won a lot of national titles this year.
Chopper to third, checking on Barnett. And there's one down. Yeah, it's been a fun year in the Big Ten. I mean, you just look back, college football playoffs, Indiana, I don't think any coach has done a better job than Kurt Cignetti turning around that Hoosier football program. As you look at the easy play made by Barnett here, got a nice easy hop over at third. And then the Michigan basketball team. It just went on and on. You're wondering, UCLA women's basketball. Right, it's been a great run for the Big Ten. It's as great a conference as there is in college sports, and they've run the gamut here, whether it's a final or a Frozen or a college football playoff type of Final Four. So after Wilson retired, brings up Ty Cowan. And Ben Hudson, what has been the change for Hudson now that he's retired 10 of 12? He's working ahead against these hitters.
Yeah, that's what you want to do. It's kind of like an oxymoron in baseball, and you always hear in hockey, pucks on net, get pucks in deep. Just throw strikes, and things work out.
0-1. And just missed inside the fastball. Cowan 2 for 3 in game number 1, but flat out to right his first time at the plate here in the second game. Brian Tripp, Luke Stefanisco, glad to be with you here on Big Ten Plus. Penn State basically straight up defensively here. The shortstop shaded up the middle and a high pop-up. Shallow right, who wants it? It'll be Molinaro, the second baseman, taking care of the second out of the inning. But you're right, Luke. Hudson is just going after these hitters here, and he's starting to command multiple pitches, so you don't know what's coming to start an at-bat.
I think it's just the mindset of, moving from a starter to a reliever to being a starter for Ben Hudson. It's kind of the reliever, you want to get in there, you want to throw strikes, you want to get batters out. Starters, you kind of have a lot of other variables to think about. How long do I want to go in this ball game? How many pitches do I want to throw to every batter? Who should I attack? Who should I not attack? All that added thinking comes in, and sometimes going back to the reliever mindset of just throw strikes and get outs is the way to go.
Well, as we talk about it, he falls behind Taggart here, 1 ball and no strikes. Hudson's dad, Joseph, pitched at West Virginia 1990 to 1992 and then reached the big leagues with the Boston Red Sox in the mid-90s. Falls behind Taggart, 2 balls and no strikes. He'd love to start the 5th with the 9-man if you can get the 8-man Taggart here, who doubled to right first time against Hudson today. 2 outs and the base is empty and a bouncer back over the mound. It's Molinaro stepping in front of the shortstop. Yacker fires to first, plenty of time.
and there's still a solid foundation for what he can continue to build at Penn State.
4 of their last 6 losses by just 1 single run. They have not allowed more than 5 runs in their last 7 games, but they've only come out of that sequence with just 1 victory. 1 ball and no strikes on Jesse Jakonski, who belts one to deep left into the corner. Hotchkiss at the wall. If it's fair, it's gone. It's out of here. Home run, Jesse Jakonski. And it's 4-1 Penn State. That guy's got a souvenir out there and left. And Jakonski making the most of his opportunities here down the stretch for the Nittany Lions.
Yeah, a guy that struggled to begin the season, taken out of the lineup for a while, but has gotten the opportunity to come back in with the subtraction of Jack Porter, and that was just an absolute shot. You knew it was going to leave the stadium in one way, whether it be fair or foul. As soon as it left the bat, just snuck inside, and a deep shot on the party porch.
Maddox McDonald trying to bunt his way on. Great speed. He is there, safe. It's the long ball, then the small ball for Penn State to start this 4th.
Hey, why not ride the momentum if you've got it? He's done that all season long, those push bunts down the first base line, and he has the speed to leg it out. Certainly a tough ask for Kenny to have to immediately go from giving up the home run to locking back in and making a play, and you saw it right there. Good hustle from McDonald to beat that one out.
Now Joey DiMucci will probably be asked to bunt. 4-1 Penn State, and putting a little pressure on the Huskies defensively. DiMucci does square. Kenny misses down and away. Does not look like Kenny is going to work deep into this game, and that's been something he's been well known for that we've discussed here at length on the broadcast already. I always laugh today when they look down at the wristband. You know where the signs are coming. It's so much different. Baseball has changed through the years. Runners off. The pitch missed down low. McDonald swipes second base. He's in there and holds the bag. Team leading 9th stolen base for Maddox McDonald.
Now the bunt here from DiMucci becomes a lot more important. If you still choose to lay one down, you can get a guy 90 feet away in scoring position to continue padding the lead. And that's great effort there from McDonald. Mike Gambino loves to utilize his runners on the base paths when they have the opportunity. That time a prime spot to do so.
2-0. Let's see if they ask DiMucci to bunt. He does square. Wilson's creeping at third. Both corners creep in. DiMucci gets the job done. It's a well-executed bunt, and the throw in time to get DiMucci. McDonald just 90 feet away. Already a 4-1 Penn State lead, and they are executing to perfection here in this 4th.
Yeah, the game plan coming into game 2 for Penn State's looked a lot better compared to game 1. They've been able to string together some consistent good at-bats and just some consistent good pieces of hitting. The homer from Jakonski, the bunt single from McDonald. You put those two together, you're pretty close to getting to a complete baseball game from what Penn State's done so far.
Well, you really understand what each aspect of your lineup provides. Jakonski, the power. McDonald, the speed, the stolen base. DiMucci, a reliable veteran who you ask to bunt and gets the job done. It's that execution that Mike Gambino's been frustrated with throughout the course of the year, but he has to be thrilled with what he's seen here in this 4th.
I go back to what he said in media a couple weeks ago. It's frustration. He says it's like being a parent. You're frustrated oftentimes.
And a little get him over, get him in for Preston Yocker. That's a sac fly to center. It's a 5-1 Penn State lead. I mean, just a perfectly drawn up inning from the bottom of the Penn State lineup here in the 4th.
Yeah, you have Jakonski up with the bases empty. You want him swinging away there. You want him creating some damage, and the homer is exactly what you wanted. You have McDonald reaching base, working his way around on a steal. DiMucci works the bunt, and then Yocker just drives in the run. And you get back to the top of the order. Exactly. That's ideal. That is a special type of inning that you don't see too often. Tough to string those at-bats like that together. Penn State got it done.
And the first 4 in the Penn State lineup already have 4 hits today, including Davis, who doubled to start the first and scored, walked and scored back in the 3rd. Kenny falls behind again, 1 ball and no strikes. 2 outs, bases empty after the sac fly from Preston Yocker, the Penn State 9-man. Davis was 0 for 4 in the first game, but he's been terrific here in the second game for Penn State. Swings through the breaking ball. It's 1-1.
It's been a tale of 2 games for the Penn State offense. They took a little bit to get going in game 1. Game 2, they've been at it since the jump, and they've made their mark.
Bouncer back up the middle. DiCarlo picks it, spins, throws, not in time. The throw got away. Backed up by the catcher, Swidler. Davis at first. He reaches on Penn State's third hit of the inning. All started on the home run from Jakonski. DiCarlo gave it his all here going up the middle.
Yeah, that's a fantastic effort from DiCarlo. Davis is a speedy runner. You're not going to necessarily be able to get him on a play like that, but the effort was there. And be able to get that accurate of a throw-off while you're on the run, ranging into shallow right, that's not something every shortstop across college can do.
Well, third time in 4 innings, fans have gotten a chance to see Michael Anderson here. Have to love that for the slugging DH, 19 home runs, leading the Big Ten, tied for the single-season record at Penn State. And Kenny falls behind Anderson again. He is flirting with trouble here against Penn State's slugging senior DH.
Already have given up a home run this inning. Can't really afford to give up another, let alone to Anderson, who can do damage with really any pitch you want to throw him.
Anderson out in front of a 1-0. He was hunting fastball.
I say that was the A swing for the fastball there, trying to pull it over the left field fence. Tough going when he pulls the string, but if that was a fastball, probably wouldn't have seen it again.
Singled to left his last time up. The outfielder in left, Jackson Hotchkiss, is all the way back on the warning track. Missed off the plate, so it's 2-1 here on Anderson, batting at .367. 3 hits already today in the doubleheader. 19 homers, 48 RBIs, and the wind is blowing out again here in Happy Valley. I'm not sure he needs any wind support. He's hit some monster home runs this year.
Oh, yeah.
Anderson, the only player in Division I with 19 or more home runs that have gone an average of 414 plus feet. 2-1 to Anderson. Came inside, and he did offer at the pitch, says first base umpire Kyle Nickel.
It's not very often that you see a guy that can challenge the left field scoreboard in Medler Field, but he's done it a couple times this season. It's been incredible to watch.
2-2 with Davis on first, and he fouls it right back our way.
Especially considering the scoreboard is actually back from the wall. When you think of a lot of ballparks, scoreboards sometimes on the fence. Scoreboard at Medler Field is back about 20 or 30 feet away from the wall in left field. He's hit the scoreboard a couple times in some true tape measure shots.
Kenny with the 2-2. So Davis will be off from first here with it 3-2 and 2 outs. Anything down the line or up into a gap could score Jayden Davis. Anderson's home runs this year have totaled 1.5 miles. That's the difference from here at Medler Field at Lebrano Park all the way across campus to Rec Hall. And the 3-2 in the air to right center. Long run for Mick Paul, but he scurries over, makes the catch. And Anderson
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Diamond loosely ready in the pen, could have made the move, stuck with Emmons, and Swidler did exactly what any manager would dream for, to send that one out in that spot. And again, it's just one of the what-ifs across the season for Penn State. If they had made the move to pull Emmons and bring in loosely there, would things have gone differently in Game 1? Hard to tell, but it's just something to think back on.
But right now, 6 in a row retired by Penn State starter Ben Hudson, has not allowed a hit since the second inning. And if you're Washington and Eddie Smith, right, this is the game of cat and mouse. Adjustments over the course of a year, but particularly in game. You're hoping a senior catcher like Swidler can start something here from the 9 spot and set the table for the top of the lineup in the 5th. Takes a called strike. It's 1-2.
That's the role of the 9-hitter in a lot of offenses, is to try and get either a base runner or move someone over in the lower part of that order so you can have top of the order chance to knock some runners in.
And he's reached safely in 11 straight, so he's done that job. 1-2. Hudson missed away. Went 2 for 9 last weekend against Oregon. But he scored a run in 5 straight games and 9 of 10. So he's been productive out of that 9 spot for Eddie Smith. Takes the 2-2 fastball away and works the count full.
And again, he's had experience playing in Medler Field before. Played with Lafayette last season, a 5-3 win over Penn State. He was 2 for 4 with a double. So a guy that can get it done here, and did it in game 1. Washington let him light a spark here in game 2.
First team All-Patriot League the last 2 seasons with the Leopards. Here's the payoff pitch. Grounds it sharply to second. Vacuumed in by Molinaro. Takes care of Swidler. What have you really liked about Ben Hudson here, who's retired 7 in a row after that slow start back in the first?
I think it's just the approach. That at-bat, he fell behind Swidler for a bit, worked back into it. He's battling. That's what you want out of your pitcher. You want to attack. You want to get ahead early in the counts and use your best stuff. He's looked good after that first inning where he battled through adversity, and that's what you want to see at the end of the day is when you go through that rough patch early, can you settle in and can you get outs like he has?
Terry walked and scored back in that first, the lone run for Washington, and he rips the first pitch into right. Jakonski cuts it off in front of the warning track. It's a 1-out single for Braden Terry. That's the first hit since Hasten Taggart's 1-out double back in the second.
Just that time there, not the pitch that Hudson would have liked to have in that spot, especially after getting Swidler out. But working back in that count does seem a whole lot better for Hudson now after the single from Terry.
Hudson 4 1/3, 4 hits, 1 run. 2 walks, 3 strikeouts at 65 pitches. Has to work now against the always dangerous Jackson Hotchkiss. It's amazing, and I know we've shown Hotchkiss's numbers throughout the game, and you look at his season numbers there. He's done that after missing the first month of the year.
That's been the most impressive part of his 17 home runs. To be in the home run title race, to do it after being out for so long, that's almost unheard of across college baseball when you have that kind of gap in the numbers.
And he is in a 2-0 hitters count, and 1 swing from Hotchkiss could cut the deficit in half. Terry at first after the single. He's back ahead of the throw. Hotchkiss single to left in the first, walked back in the third. Now an 11-game hitting streak for the sophomore out of Battleground, Washington. And Hudson has to deal with a runner on first and Washington's best hitter at the plate. And Hotchkiss takes a high strike. It's 2-1.
Good time to go off speed there. Got to be imagining Hotchkiss was sitting fastball on that pitch, pulled the string on it to get yourself back in the count.
Hotchkiss entering action today was hitting .337 in Big Ten only action with a dozen home runs. And he belts the 2-1 to left. Davis looks up. Jackson Hotchkiss makes it a 2-run game. Home run number 18 for the Washington Slugger.
We're just talking about the Big Ten home run race. Hotchkiss, few back from Michael Anderson, the pacer, but now only 1 back with that shot. And that's just the exact swing you want to put on in that kind of count. 2-1.
And you could just feel that building there for Washington. Got into a hitter's count, and it's so incredible. And that's why you love the sport as Sam DiCarlo's at the plate now. That's why you love the sport, because things can change in an instant. And just like that, Ben Hudson was mowing him down. He was on cruise control, and Washington is right back in the game.
Well, it is the infamous 3rd time through the order, as you hear a lot in Major League Baseball and even minor league baseball, that when a pitcher gets to the 3rd time through the order, some bad things can happen. And this is now Hudson's 3rd venture through the order. Both batters he's faced have reached base, and both have scored.
Comes right back, though, and works ahead of DiCarlo 0-2, and then he slaps one foul. The difference in this game so far, Penn State has gotten production 1 through 9 in its lineup, and Washington, as they head through this order a 3rd time, really has only gotten production from the top few.
Yeah, and it's credit to Terry, Hotchkiss, and waiting on DiCarlo, but those 2 guys, the top 2, have done their job. They just need the rest of their teammates to pick them up.
Hudson's 0-2, grounded past Carstetter and into right, and DiCarlo with his 2nd hit. That's now 5 hits combined from the top 3 in the Washington lineup.
Yeah, and they've all reached base 3rd time through the order. A couple guys starting to get loose out in the Penn State bullpen. Had to think that was coming.
Just a simple swing there, taking it the other way. Right-hander Mason Horwat warming up for Penn State. Also looks like it may be the end of the line for Washington starter Noah Kenny, as the lefty Liam Learman is ready to go. One out, and all of a sudden the tying run at the plate. Colton Bauer fouls the first one back. Bauer had a sac fly to plate Terry back in the first, then struck out against Hudson in the third.
And for Penn State, Horwat's a guy that can give you a couple innings should Mike Gambino want him to do so. Again, with Game 3 potentially coming up down the line, don't know where and how he'll use Horwat in this spot.
Runner on first with one out, and Bauer rips the 0-1 to left, and Davis makes the sliding catch. Hung up there for Jayden Davis. That's a big second out for Hudson. And remember, it was this fifth inning that gave Hudson trouble last weekend against Minnesota after, really similar to today, he was cruising through the first four.
And when you see Jayden Davis there, not a natural left fielder by trade, and certainly not the most natural sliding play you'll ever see, but it gets the job done, and that's all you can ask.
I think that's why he's having that chuckle out there. Well, as long as you make the play,
yeah,
right, at the end of the
out.
day. So Hudson one pitch away now from getting through this fifth, and I'm sure if Mike Gambino and Will Joust had a game plan, it was at least to get Hudson through five. Mick Paul, though, at the plate. He struck out twice today and rips it through the shift into right center for a hit. DeCarlo stops at second. Now you have 2 on 2 outs, and all of a sudden, Blake Wilson comes to the plate representing the go-ahead run for Washington. Things have really turned in a hurry here in the top of the fifth.
And you're flirting with some danger. Nice swing from Paul. Stayed controlled through it, beat the shift. That's what you have to do if you're going to pull against the shift. You got to hit it with some force and find a gap. Perfect situation, but now...
And they dropped that series 2-1.
That's not remotely close to the State College geography.
First pitch swing, it's a foul ball. It hit Wilson's foot as it was picked up by Barnett in foul territory. You can see our umpires all over that. No, there's a little bit different between New York City and the suburbs as opposed to coming here to Happy Valley. Once you get here, it's great.
Oh, absolutely. But, you know, driving into Happy Valley, you might think you're never going to see civilization. At least Washington may have thought they're going to see civilization as they were flying over many of the forests and fields of central Pennsylvania until they got here.
They flew into Harrisburg on Wednesday, drove up to State College yesterday, and then playing 2 today. 0-1 off the end of the bat, and Hudson, whatever was said between Joust and Hudson, he's now up 0-2 here on Wilson, and a chance to get Penn State through this fifth.
I think it's also the motivation of one more batter potentially. Get this last guy, get your team out of a big spot here, and give them the chance to get back to work when the bats have been fairly hot as of late.
Pitch number 79 coming here. DeCarlo at second, Paul at first. 2 outs, already 2 across here in the top of the fifth. 0-2. Down and away, smothered by DiMucci. It's a big block by DiMucci to prevent the potential tying run from advancing into scoring position.
Yeah, not all is lost if you keep him at second. A base hit doesn't guarantee that a run will score. A very good chance, but that ball gets past DiMucci. A base hit would guarantee 1 run would score, potentially 2 to tie this game up.
Penn State not holding the runner at first. Take away as much space as possible. 1-2 came inside. And Wilson turned his front shoulder in towards the pitch, just missed. There you can see the defensive alignment. Carstetter at first, way back behind Mick Paul. Paul with his speed too. Anything down the line or into a gap because he's got such a big lead. So to easily score, DeCarlo, pretty good lead at second as well. As the 2-2 is popped up. Out to right, Jakonski. For the final out of the inning, makes the catch. So 2 score in the inning, but 2 are stranded by Hudson.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the
Real
action.
soon as Jesse Jakonski leads it off here in the bottom of the 6th against Liam Learman, who's into his second inning of relief. And Jakonski was at the plate when Bryce Molinaro was thrown out trying to steal second base to end the bottom half of the 5th inning. And he rips the 0-1 through the hole on the left side. It's a base hit. Second hit for Jakonski. He has 2 hits in both games of the doubleheader today. And Jakonski really finding his groove here in the last couple of weeks.
Again, it's starting to look like the Jesse Jakonski we spoke about of last season. He's hitting the ball hard. He's doing it when it counts. Again, it was a tough start to the year for him, but to play like this down the stretch, what much else can you ask for?
And again, it seems like the problem for Jakonski, it was more of a positional thing because Cole Mercado went down in center. So they put Maddox McDonald, who's been a surprise for Penn State, and up there now, and he bunts it again. He's got that speed. And the throw from Learman on the underhand just in time to get McDonald. You can see his speed, his acumen, what he can do at the plate. But he's probably not as prolific an offensive threat, so you're trading a little offense for defense by playing him in center when you have a bunch of corner infielders and a corner outfielder or two on your bench. Got the job done again.
Yeah. It's what he's done all season long. A little push bunt down the first baseline, especially against a lefty pitcher who has to spin around to try and make the play at first. And for McDonald, he's prolific in his own way offensively, and that's one of the benefits he provides to you offensively with the speed and with the bunting acumen. But out in the field, center field, he plays a good center field. Him and Mercado are a nice tandem out there.
DiMucci swings through the first pitch changeup. But, just to finish that thought, I'm sure people are wondering, okay, you had a guy who hit 350 plus and had double-digit home runs last year, Jakonski. Well, if you have all these injuries, why haven't you given him a chance? Well, sometimes it's a matter of, where is he on the field as DiMucci lines the 0-1 into right. That's a hit. Jakonski stops at third, and Joey DiMucci with his first hit of the ball game. Runners on the corners for Penn State here in the 6th as they look to add to that 5-4 lead. But it's a positional thing. You can only have so many guys that can play. Great swing here by the backup catcher.
It just takes the high pitch, level swing, lines it out to right. Exactly what you want from DiMucci right there. You need him to go gap to gap. Don't need him to be a power guy. Just get a base and hit and keep the line moving.
We said the difference in this game has been the bottom of the Penn State lineup has been more productive than the bottom half of the Washington lineup. And it's proven to be true here again. Leadoff single to left by Jakonski. Perfectly executed bunt by McDonald. And now the one-out single to right by DiMucci, and they're on the corners for the 9-man Preston Yocker.
It's similar to the execution all the way back in that 4th inning with the Jakonski homer, the McDonald bunt single, the sack from DiMucci, and then the sack.
He squares to bunt, pops it up, foul ground, and a bobble, and no, Swidler could not hang on to it. Swidler, he had a couple of shots at it, and Swidler tried to run it down near the on-deck circle. And second life for Yocker after the failed bunt.
Well, baseball giveth and baseball taketh, and Swidler's had an incredible 2 games, but right there, just couldn't get a clean catch on that one. Had a few second chances at it. And now you got to wonder, is it going to come back to bite him in this at-bat with Yocker?
He knows that one got away. Hit off the heel of his mitt, almost overran the ball. It was a safety squeeze. Runner from third, Jakonski, was not off. Squares again here, and he was hit by the pitch. At least Yocker thinks he was. There was no official call. DiMucci's into second, and home plate umpire Kirk Dominic is calling Yocker back. You see DiMucci standing on second in a bit of a daze. And the pitch missed down and in. And immediately, Eddie Smith comes out and wants a word with Kirk Dominic because he's frustrated that DiMucci's standing on second now, but it's a stolen base.
Yeah, either way, DiMucci will be on second here. Let's take a look. That one may have grazed the shoe top of Yocker. But regardless, DiMucci will be at second. Regardless of how this one is scored, whether they go to review here and rule it a hit by pitch on Yocker, or if they just rule it a straight ball, DiMucci should be at second base. The umpire's having a discussion. We'll see what they rule.
Yeah, if you're Smith, I'm not sure you want to challenge the call because you could have second and third one out and 1-1 on Yocker, or you could have the bases loaded and one out and then the top of the Penn State lineup at the plate. And there's our crew, and you love to see this when they get together and talk about it. That's all you ask sometimes as a head coach or a manager.
Especially in a spot like this where it could really go a long way in determining the rest of this inning. I mean, obviously you're going to have still 2 men in scoring position, but you could add Yocker on first base. With Davis and Anderson looming, that's huge RBI threats ready on deck and in the hole.
See if we can do a little lip reading here. Your guess is as good as mine. Right now it's a one-sided conversation from Dominic. Now, Gambino, who already has lost one challenge, does have the option to challenge himself because we saw on the initial replay it was really close, as you said, to grazing the shoe top of Yacker. Here's another look. I do, Luke, I'm going to say, I think that did hit his toe.
It definitely is. It's kind of in a space where the ball grazed, I think, both the dirt and his shoe, which it's tough to tell.
Gambino talks with Nick Puccio, the first base coach. And Penn State not going to challenge the play. So, we stand corrected. You have Jakonski at third, DiMucci at first with one out, and it's 1-1 on Preston Yacker. I just like that the umps got it together, came up with a call, and stood by it. I'm not sure it's the right call, but they came up with the call and stood by it. On the corners, one out. They throw to first, and DiMucci scurries back.
And it still doesn't diminish the threat of DiMucci advancing to second. That is not 100% done just yet.
No, and he is your atypical catcher. He runs really well. Washington, middle infield, double play depth. Third baseman Wilson up. The 1-1. And Yacker bunts it, but he bunts it foul again. Now, we saw a lot of great execution from Penn State so far in this game, but Yacker unable to get a couple of bunts down. And really fortunate he's still at the plate after Swidler dropped the foul ball.
Yeah, again, to be honest, he shouldn't be at the plate right now. It should be probably back to the top of the order with Davis and potentially Anderson. He got a second lease on life, wasn't able to get the second bunt down. Now he's going to have to swing away.
Be interesting to see if DiMucci starts here from first with 2 strikes. No team has hit into more double plays this year than Penn State. And Yacker down on strikes. So a big strikeout for Learman as he tries to pitch out of it. So now Jayden Davis. 1-run game, bottom of the 6th. 2 outs and they're on the corners, and Learman starts him with the strike on the inside edge. You mentioned Learman, the freshman out of Eagle River, Alaska. If he could get out of this jam and keep this a 1-run game, Washington would have all the momentum going to the 7th. 0-1. Up and away to Davis. Davis doubled and scored in the first, walked and scored in the third, and then had an infield hit his last time up. However, he's hitting just .163 this year with runners in scoring position despite his .310 batting average. On the corners with 2 outs. And the 1-1 soars high, and Swidler has to come out of the crouch to make the catch.
Well, part of that for Davis has been his double play issue. He's been the Penn State's leading double play hitter this season. Move to the leadoff spot's definitely helped with that. In his spot right now, can't hit a double play, only can hit into a force out to end the inning. Not much to lose.
Jakonski at third, DiMucci at first. Big spot here in the 6th. And the count goes to 2-2. A breaking ball drops in over the outer third for a called strike. Might be the last batter here for Learman. A righty up and getting ready perhaps to face Michael Anderson should the inning continue. 2 balls, 2 strikes here in the bottom of the 6th. And Davis rips it to center. Here comes Paul. He dives, and Paul can't make the catch. It's an RBI single for Davis, and Penn State with a 6-4 lead. Third hit of the game, and it's 6-4 Penn State, and it gives Anderson a chance with a couple of men on base. And Anderson chops it back behind third. It's a fair ball. Wilson with the long throw all the way across to first gets Anderson. And that ends the inning. Penn State 1 run on 3 hits in the inning.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Also had their moments throughout this series.
Well, he's reached in each of his 4 trips to the plate today. A single to left back in the first, walked in the third, that 2-run home run you just saw back in the 5th, and an infield hit in the 6th. But Mason Horwat starts him with the strike. And the 0-1 also on the inside edge. Another strike from Horwat, who's quickly ahead 0-2. Horwat is a rhythm pitcher. He likes to work fast, a natural sinker baller. And he has Hotchkiss down 0-2 and strikes him out. What a start to the ninth for Mason Horwat. And he does something no one has done today.
As you said, Brian, he's a rhythm pitcher, and when he has that kind of at-bat, you can tell he's immediately in a rhythm. His early at-bats of his outings dictate how they will go. That one right there, most likely a good indicator that he's feeling it on the bump.
All Penn State needed to do is surpass that 4-run mark. That has been the line of demarcation for Penn State. Horwat just pumping strikes here. And that's a 90-mile-per-hour sinker to start DiCarlo. And it looks like the Nittany Lions are going to earn a split here in this doubleheader on their home field. 0-1. Blew it on by him. Horwat has served a lot of different roles, was a starter last year, pitched in late innings in his freshman season for Penn State. And he has come out and he's worked quick, and he's thrown 5 straight strikes to start.
This is definitely a wise timeout by the Washington staff. He has looked impressive. He's located the zone. Sinker in there at 91 with over 2 feet of vertical break on it. It's a tough pitch to hit.
Don't forget, the next broadcast still to be determined when they'll play Game 3 of this series, either tomorrow at 2 o'clock on Big Ten Plus or Big Ten Network Sunday morning at 11 a.m. And Mason Horwat, 2 up, 2 down, back-to-back strikeouts to start this ninth on just 6 pitches.
Well, that's about exactly what you could dream of if you're Mike Gambino. Horwat's came out and thrown strikes, made those 2 first at-bats look like afterthoughts, and now with 2 down, you got to do it once more. 3 strikes is all you need. This game's over. You get a sweep of the doubleheader and looking to take Game 3 whenever it happens.
Horwat had 2 saves as a freshman. No saves last year. 7 strikes here by Horwat with 2 quick outs and back-to-back strikeouts. Colton Bauer, last licks here for Washington. And he hits it on the ground right at Bryce Molinaro. And Bryce Molinaro throws to first, and Penn State 6-4 takes Game 2 of the doubleheader and splits the doubleheader today with Washington. A 1-2-3 ninth for that guy, Mason Horwat, in relief.